Right up the temperature. Voila. I'm going to use kind of the classic old style with the small handle. Single spout, that's a rarity. So that's going to be really cool. Here's this baby hit up. Look at that. So we're going to use that today. I love this thing. Okay, close your ears. We're going to grind. All right. Down. I usually go on my tamping is how the tamper fits. That's how I kind of judge things too. So that's just the way I do things. There we are. It fits nice and snug in there. Now we're going to use this, which is also a different portafilter. It's a bottomless, but made by this guy by LA. I forget his name now. He was when La Pavoni's kind of first re-emerged, being popular, he was around, because I remember nobody really knew about these machines, and there's a small group of us, but then on that Boing Boing website, they started talking about him, and then it went crazy. And the prices, they just got popular. I don't blame everyone, but at least they're getting saved. We're going to restock on some beans. We're using these French roast. Just the standard French roast, medium, dark, kind of towards the dark on medium dark. But they're good. We've used a lot of different beans from every type, and kind of when it comes down to it, a lot of times the standard beans are really better than a lot of these fancy ones with all the talk about them. Here we go again. Close your ears. There we go. This one's for Uten. See, I let this one do the same thing. So it's a little lower, but that's how I do a lot of judgment on this. He's having a duplicate. See, I have about, not half, but I've had some water in there. That's why she likes it. I'm going full bore, hardcore. And let's see where we'll steam. Let's pop this one up. We got a new little, I'll show you, we got a new little portable hot tub. That's the pairing today, is what hot tub you can use with your La Pavonis. Not any big fancy ones, but those little blow-up ones, we've had 2 or 3 over the years, ever since the pandemic. Hang on to your hat. So I'll show you that when we set it up. They're pretty fun to have. They're inexpensive. If you get 2 or 3 years out of them, they're really good. And you can take them up and down. You're not stuck with this big thing and building a deck. And then you really don't end up using it. And yeah, I made a lot of money on people not using stuff over the years. But that's the way it is. But sometimes it's better to get something like this, because are you really going to use it that much and go to the trouble? And then you're building all this stuff and it needs all this work, and you can kind of work on these, but once they go bad, you can just kind of send them on their way. But they're fun too. Let's go. Wipe that off. We're going to come back up here. Let's go ahead and pull up this one with the single spouter. There she goes. Kind of goes the sound. I don't know if you have spouts or bottomless really make any actual difference. You get a little more crema with the bottomless, I think, overall, but it really doesn't make that massive of a difference. There we go. All right, the other one's back up. We're going to flip it back down. There we are. One-handed, see that? That's a good one. So almost wiggled away, but there we are. I didn't tamp super heavy because this is our afternoon coffee, so I wanted them to come out faster. And the medium dark, sometimes you don't need it to sit in there that long, really. There we go. Did it again. Single spout. And the regular bottomless. That's about it. And we're going to have these. Maybe we'll take a hot tub later, but I think I'll show you where we just set it up. Okay. There we go. Another fun one. Okay. We got another blow-up spa. We've had a couple, you know, they last you like a couple years, 2 or 3 years. The controller lasts longer on most of them than the pot here, because, you know, if you're outside cats, everything gets to them. We're going to cover this one up pretty good, but, you know, for the cost, they're a good bargain. This one's the Oslo Spa. They didn't give us to them. I'm not doing any promotions, but yeah, this is the little Oslo Spa. They're great for at home. You know, they're whatever. They got more expensive, but depending on where you live, you can pop one, get one delivered from one of those corporate places. We don't like to buy from them, but we do sometimes. But they just plug in. The biggest tip I can give you is fill them up initially with warm water if you can, because the heater on these is going to take a while to heat up water, especially if you're in somewhere you know, where it's pretty cold at night and you lose a lot of heat. It's not going to heat that much. It could take you, you know, 24 hours to heat that baby, 10 or so. So it's probably more efficient just to go ahead and yeah, fill them up with your hose hooked up to a hot sink, so you get initially warm water. Then it's easy for them to heat the last bit or maintain it. All right, let's just keep this one filling and then we'll check back. Okay, so we've had it wrapped up all night. We used it yesterday. It was really good. In fact, the water out of the sink heated with warm water. We didn't even have to use the heater, but we have it wrapped up so no cats or anything get to it. And it's kind of in the garage this time because I'm thinking, yeah, it's doing good. If you can see, it's not flashing stuff. It's at 93. It started at 91, and in like less than 5 minutes, it went up 2 degrees, which is really good for one of these. So we'll get it out later. I think we'll go in one more time. You sleep really good, but the next day you can be really lazy after one of these. So, all right, there we go. It's a good old Oslo Spa by Pavoni or something. I don't know. Anyhow, all right, everyone. We'll wait a little while. All right, here she is. Yeah, it's a cool little. You always want the square ones. We've had like 2 or 3 of these over the years, and the round ones aren't as useful as the square ones because you can sit. The round ones, just don't work as good as far as sitting, but it's a nice little setup. A pretty good controller. Got the heater. It's 94 right now and going up. And we have it nearby. We can just put the hose in with hot water from the sink. So, yeah, that's it. Right in the garage, totally cool. Just come out here and hang out with your coffee or however you go, but that's it. That's our little Oslo. Totally cool. Okay.